Already know what it is, man. IlFam79 on your social media choice at Black Wrestling on all social media. Hey, man, it's coming up on another one of those amazing fight events, and we're gonna have a series of these conversations. And the first, man, we got our signals kind of crossed last time, so I wanted to get you in first for this set of interviews, man. Big time Robb Radke, what's going on, brother? How are you?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
Oh man, things are going really, really well. Things are going really, really well. Before we get into any of this wrestling stuff, I see you. So you have the DC Defender hat on.
Yes, sir.
Are you a local guy?
No. So I live in Delaware. So
Okay.
not too far. Not too far. I like to say Big Time was born in DC.
Okay.
Just because, man, the crowds that I've wrestled in front of in DC have been, I don't know, have made me feel kind of special. So, but yeah, I'm a Delaware guy, but repping my Defenders, big XFL guy, for
Really?
sure. Yeah.
So I mean, have you been through like every, I guess, iteration, or are you a OG
OG,
XFL guy?
OG for sure. I at my mom's house, I think in her shed, I have one of the old black and red XFL footballs from the original. Um, and man, I didn't watch actually the one that COVID canceled. I didn't watch when it came back then. I just didn't get around to it. But this last season, I was hooked. Went to a couple games, had a blast. XFL is kind of where it's at for me.
What's that experience like as opposed to maybe an NFL game?
I tell you, you get more bang for your buck when you go to an XFL game. Especially, club seating is pretty reasonably priced. I mean, I've paid more for an NFL game for much worse. Um, and we with club seating, and we didn't even realize it this at the time. You get free drinks for the first three quarters. So I mean, you can't beat that. That's and it's a whole buffet in the clubhouse. It's yeah. We had a blast. We had so much fun. Me and my girl, we got season tickets for next season. Like we're all in on the XFL.
That's what's happening, man. Where do your other sports alliances lie? Like, NFL, NBA.
Right.
What are you into
So
and
so
who you
for me,
rocking
it's
with?
kind of all over the place because Delaware, we don't have a team,
Same way.
and I was never like I'll just pick the closest team to me or whatever. I That's kind of where I went with the Defenders this time around, and I'm glad I did because they killed it last season. But so my stuff is random. So I'm a Titans fan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, from back in the Javon Curse days, he was like my favorite player.
Mhm.
Absolutely loved that early Tennessee Titans run stuff. Eddie George, Steve McNair, can't beat it. Still a little heartbroken from that Super Bowl, but you know,
One
um,
of those things that live with you. I understand.
NBA. Yeah, NBA. I've always considered myself a Pistons fan. Yeah, I'm a big fan of contact and physicality in sports, and hopefully that shows in my wrestling. But like those early Pistons days, when they're just giving Jordan the business, just
Bad boys.
I loved it. And I'm a big Rodman guy, so
Mhm.
you know um,
Big
that's
Rick
kind of it. Where
Mahorn and
yeah,
big Rick Mahorn and just there was a great John Sally and all those guys. Yeah, that's actually
for
I'm
sure.
I'm a fan. That is I'm assuming we are close in age because those are the teams that I like personally.
Hmm.
And that's why I'm still a Detroit Piston fan to this day. That's insane. I haven't met another
I
Piston
was
fan.
I also love a good heel in sports, and for a while the Pistons were for sure heat like they were literally the bad boys of the NBA. Love an attitude. I just can't get enough of entertainment in sports, to be honest with you. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with sports. Not a really big baseball guy. I technically a Mets fan, but maybe that's why I'm not a baseball guy. Um, yeah, all my family's from New York, so they're all like Giants, Yankees, and I just didn't want to be like doing what everybody else was doing.
Absolutely. So, not being what everybody else is doing, I'm assuming somehow got you to wrestling. How'd you get there?
It's just something I kind of always wanted to do. Fan from like, as long as I can remember. And then one day on Facebook, I just saw that there was a local wrestling school near, like, not far from where I worked. So I would go on my lunch breaks because I worked nights. So I would go on my lunch breaks. I would take my two 15-minute breaks at my lunch break so I could get a full hour and just work the rest of the time, which was exhausting. But I was like, until I can get my schedule to work, I really want to, put everything I can into this. So yeah, I saw that there was a school having tryouts, and I just went, and I really just kind of wanted to, and people say this a lot, but I just wanted to have one match. I just want to see if I could do it. I I was 24 at the time, which is not young to start wrestling.
Correct.
For most. So I was kind of at a weird early midlife crisis where I was like, well, if I'm gonna do it, it's got to be now, because it probably won't happen later. So I'm glad I did. Glad I stuck with it. Having a great time with it right now.
So, what's your current why? Like, why go back? Because I know it's not a comfortable thing. I know that next morning we grabbing at shoulders and elbows and ankles and everything. What's your current why for like kind of keep going after you had your one match? Things have progressed.
So my current why is honestly, I'm just having a great time. And I'm reaching successes I never thought I would reach, early in my career. Just trying to see what I can get out of wrestling while I'm still on this planet, and in kind of like a tomorrow's not promised kind of mode right now. So it's just I want to get all I can out of this before my back gives out or before anything prevents me from being able to do it any longer.
So you've been at this for a bit. How many years would you say you've been wrestling at this point?
Right around 9 years.
Right.
Yes,
So,
I started training in August of 2014.
okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, so you went through that weird, wild phase that we've all kind of started coming out of in that pandemic era of wrestling and not, things not happening. How'd you deal with that period of time, and what was that period of time like for you wrestling personally?
So, kind of conveniently for me, when COVID hit, I had quote unquote retired. Like I kind of thought I was done, had a retirement match, didn't want to do it anymore. Wasn't having fun, body was aching. I said, you know what, I think I'm done. More importantly, it wasn't fun, so I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. So I had my quote unquote retirement match in December of 2019. And then March is when COVID, everything started shutting down. So that whole kind of time, I was pretty surreal because I actually think if quarantine hadn't happened, I might not have come back because I kept getting really bothered that I didn't have the option. Do you know what I mean? Like at any point, I could, even right now, like I could get up and drive 2 hours any which way and find a show, maybe try and get on. Like the option is always there. But with COVID, it's like, it's not my choice now. You know what I'm saying? Like I kind of thought I was giving up on it, but it it's not an option to me right now. And that really bothered me. And then also, COVID's boring. I drank quite a bit, had a lot of plenty of office happy hours on Zoom, and I'd start to start feeling good, and I'd watch some of my old matches because I'm a narcissist, I guess, and then just be like, damn, that I was kind of good. Like I'm feeling kind of itchy now. So yeah, I think if COVID didn't force me to want to wrestle again, at least was like a catalyst to start thinking about getting back.
What was that first match like? That first match back?
Exhausting. Everybody says it because it's true. It's like ring cardio is a completely different kind of cardio. And I kind of foolishly was kind of like, all right, first match, right out the gate, I want to try and put it all out there instead of which goes against my natural instinct anyway. So I don't know why that happened, but I like to pace my stuff out, take my time. So first match back, right out the gate, I'm doing drop down leapfrogs. I got to the back and just laid down, like I on the floor, like sweaty, like I just laid straight down. I was like, I need a minute. And I laid there for probably felt like a good like 10-15 minutes. I was just on the floor catching wind. But it still felt great to get that match back.
So talk about like actually wrestling in the DMV area, Flying V fight. What's like different about this area? What's special? What do you love about being specifically in that DMV area?
It might sound corny, but like I really can't. It's like a magic that happens. Like it's a vibe. It's such a vibe. When you hear the phrase "it's a vibe," like that's what I think of is those moments. Like especially Browmatica at PW Vibe. Very special moment for a lot of reasons for a lot of people that night, and just the crowd was so electric, and we're just. They were in it as much, if not more, than we were. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, it feels good. I can never describe to anyone who doesn't wrestle the feeling of having a great match where the crowd is like 1,000% behind it, and just it's I've never experienced something like that before. Vibe, and then even Flying V is like it's a theater crowd. It's a completely different environment. The crowd sometimes isn't really wrestling fans as much as they're trying to view like avant-garde art in a way, and which can be kind of surreal when you're going through your head of how crowds should be reacting to matches. But you can see the differences. Like, this reaction is a good reaction here, as opposed to it's not a wrestling crowd reaction. And then Fight Club. Fight Club's the first time I started using the big time moniker. And you try new things in wrestling a lot, and sometimes they don't work. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they work out great. And just the way that crowd was with me with the big time chants, and it's like a lot of times if you want to get a chant over, you kind of have to coach the crowd into it a little bit. I didn't have to do that for big time. It just made me feel like I belonged in a way that like that that's what I can sum up really with all of the DMV is it makes me feel like I belong. More than I can really speak to other places.
So in the DMV, there are a lot of things locally. I'm assuming you go back and forth between Delaware and the DMV for working. Like that DMV culture, the go, the mambo sauce, have smokes go down, you know what I mean? Is that stuff that's kind of ingrained into your natural life now? Like, do you find yourself putting in the backyard, you know what I'm saying, on a Bluetooth? Are you doing a lot of local stuff now?
I'm trying to. I'm trying to get out to do things culturally as much as possible. I just went last week to the Flying V Theater, where they had a Nerdlesque event, which was such a great time. Participated in a karaoke tournament with, Nyla Rose was there just not as a performer, just was there because she wanted to come hang out and see a great show. And it was a great show. Like all the performances, fantastic. Definitely recommend next time they come around. Nerdlesque, Nerdvana. Can't recommend it enough.
Absolutely. I saw some clips from that evening, that weekend. Shout out to my guy Dr. D. So let's talk about this event. Um we got fight, is it Thriller?
Yes, sir.
We got Fight Thriller coming up Sunday, October 15th, 3608 Legion Road, Cheverly, Maryland. What do you have going on that night?
So that night I will be I'll get the match I've been wanting for quite a while, with my former best friend, Big Dust. There he is, and there we are. But yeah, looking forward to that quite a bit. Been trying to get my hands on him for months now. Somehow keeps slipping away. I'm fighting other goons, but this time it's official. Me and Big Dust, it's happening.
So what's the history behind this? What's up with you and Big Dust? What's up with you and the goons? I saw some things at the last event, man. It they ganged up, man.
Yeah. So the goons. I was a goon.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much immediately when I came back to wrestling, because thing people may or may not realize about the goons is we were all like real life best friends. It's not like a promoter puts us all together as a stable or whatever. No, it was all the goons collectively, just being like, hey, let's hang out and go wrestle together, and gained a lot of success together. I can't thank the goons enough for everything that's happened to me. Success wise when it comes to wrestling. I mean, they motivated me, helped me get to where I'm at. Can't take that away from them. I was excommunicated from the group several months ago at HTW in Philadelphia. Um, you know, Bittersweet in a few ways because obviously my best friends they don't want me around anymore, just because we got some differences. And then but it's refreshing to kind of be able to go out on my own, do my own thing, stand on my own feet, which is kind of like my other why right now. Like I'm trying to prove something to myself, to others, whoever, that big time Robb Radke doesn't need a squad or anything or a clique. But yeah.
So now you're in a situation where you have to watch your back, your front, your sides when you are navigating more than one opponent, especially because you're probably gonna see a goon or two in a couple of weeks. How do you plan on navigating that?
Uh, the only thing I can really say to that is, I know how the goons operate because I was a goon. I've read the playbook. I've written some of the plays. I get it. I know what to expect. I know what to look for. If anyone is prepared to fight a goon, it's got to be me. So I have things in the back of my mind. If this happens, I'll do this. If that happens, I'll do that. I'd like to say that they'd just, let Dust fight his own battle, but, we know better, right?
Absolutely. So it becomes about being smart, man. I am really looking forward. This should be a lot of fun. Um, looking forward, looking past this, and I know you shouldn't, but who over there in fight, or maybe just on that East Coast indie, um, circuit, who would you like to get your hands on? Who would you like to get jump in the ring with?
Uh, well, there are still a few goons left on my list. Killian, Eel. Um, here's the thing about the goons. It's kind of weird because certain promotions don't acknowledge certain goons as goons, but they know who they are, and anybody who's goon adjacent, anybody wants to associate with the goons, we can handle it. Outside of goons, really hoping to get a match with O'Shea Edwards. He's on my list for sure. Anybody, Trish Adore, obviously, Shug D, been angling, trying to find a gap to get me a match with Darius Carter for a long time now. Hopefully the plans align and we can get that to happen. But I had a match recently with Deshaun Pratt. Wasn't my best outing. So I'd like to run that one back. But other than that, anybody, everybody.
So if folks want to get to know you, folks want to go check out a match or two, what was on that mixtape, that big time mixtape that folks could go and say, all right, this is a good sample size of big time, and maybe go and see more live in a couple of weekends over at 3608 Legion Road, Cheverly, Maryland.
So you could catch me. I'm at Robb Radke on everything. Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, Threads, all that stuff. YouTube, you can catch my YouTube. I don't have a whole lot on my YouTube. I need to work on that, but I have some old matches. I got some recent ones. I would definitely recommend checking out my match with Killian McMurphy. It was at a taping in December. There wasn't a crowd there. Wish there was, but very proud of that match. That's where you can reach me. Oh, you can also get merchandise at swoprowrestling.com.
swoprowrestling.com. Is there anything you want to say to the folks before we get out of here?
All I can say is just come out and check out the show. Like I said, come and with an open mind and just feel the crowd around you. Like, I guarantee you're gonna have a good time. Drinks are pretty cheap there, and they're not stingy on the liquor. So if that's your thing,
I can verify that.
If that's your thing, check that out. But yeah, it's such a electric vibe to these Fight Club shows. They just announced the main event has been changed to a triple threat with Darius Carter, Trish Adora, Shug D. That's a main event anywhere in the world. Yeah. You know what I mean? Myron Reed versus Mr. Grimm. Eel O'Neill versus Moses. I mean, Robb Radke versus Big Dust. There it is. I mean, and it's a thriller. It's a Michael Jackson thriller themed show. So I think they also said there's a costume contest at intermission.
Huh.
Brooke Valentine is hosting a talk show segment on the show.
Yeah, I saw that was announced today, man. I'm looking forward to who she's talking to. I saw that Andino threw his hat in the ring. I don't know if he needs more of a reason to talk. Because he's gonna get his bars off, man. But I am really excited about the show. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to your match. One more time before we get out of here, big time Robb Radke, tell the folks how they can get at you on social media and talk them into the house.
At Robb Radke, Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky, Threads, all of it. Check my stuff out. Hope you like it. I genuinely would love for you to come to this show in particular. Love the Fight Club crowds, love the Fight Club shows. Vowing to get my revenge on Big Dust. That's it.
That's what's up, man. Hey, IlFam79 on your social media choice. Dion Anderson, the podcast, and Captain Brew Albano, Brew Diamond, Phillips, Sticky the Dragon, Steamboat, Podchamp Pod, God's favorite podcast, the Potty Pipe, I'm in the podcast, Chew Bubblegum, and I'm all out of Dentine Nice, man. I will see y'all folks at the fight. Peace.